Friendly greetings, this is Torley Linden, and we're here at the Second Life Wiki. I'm going to explain what it means and how to use it. A warm intro for you. So, at its most basic, if you've never heard of a wiki before, the word wiki just means this is a collection of pages of information that you can collaborate on. You may have heard of Wikipedia.org, which is really popular. And this wiki in particular is about Second Life stuff, appropriately. Anytime you want to get here, in your web browser's address bar, all you need to do is type in wiki.secondlife.com and push enter. You see I've been visiting some related wiki pages, which I'll show you a little bit later. It may take a bit slow to load, but of course it brings us right back here. This is already where we were. Now, the wiki is divided into portals. Each portal has a specific sort of topic or subject matter area. Like the Second Life Volunteers portal is about helping residents help each other. LSL is Linden's scripting language, and this is a great place, as you'll see when I click through, to get scripting information. All the sorts of variables and functions and these sorts of things which are good to know, whether you're a beginner or a more advanced scripter who is in search of such reference material. In addition, you'll notice that our volunteers help, and I use volunteers as a loose term, not just meaning our formal group of volunteers like mentors in Second Life, but any resident who wishes to help contribute to the richness of the Second Life Wiki. You'll notice right here there's different languages it's translated into, making it international friendly. Clicking on any one of these will reload the page in a different language. And by far that I've seen, most of these translations are done by hand, so they're not automatic and they should be higher quality. Of course, if they're not, that brings me to what I was going to mention next. What happens on the wiki with collaboration is any resident, when you're logged in, you can edit pages. You can make new pages, you can change existing ones, and you can delete ones that have little or no value. Of course, you might be wondering, this sounds like chaos, a sort of pandemonium. Well, the good news is right here, for each and every page, there is a history tab. And you can click this to view revisions, which means that if there were to be vandalism or some sort of destructive editing, which doesn't benefit the wiki or doesn't benefit the people using the page, they come and read it and say, what the heck is this? You can revert to earlier versions, and it shows who made each edit. You must be logged in to the wiki to do this, so it shows your resident name. If you're an administrator, you're probably not, but I am, just letting you know, when we need to, we can protect a page from further edits. The majority of cases, we don't do this. We like knowledge to flow freely, and we like people to improve each other's writing. I see this a lot, and it's great, of course. It's collaborative. You'll notice that each resident name also has a link. Well, most of them do, not the ones in red. The purpose of this is simply that each and every resident who logs into our wiki is able to edit their own user page. Think of it like an extended profile, where you can put pictures and text and a lot of styling. Like, for example, I'll click here on Diedrich Moriak's. Let's see what's on his page. And I browsed some really good ones. There are some that are simple, that keep track of notes, like what people, oh yeah, this looks like he's keeping track of some notes. This is a very good example of using the wiki page to help you remember things that are important to you, and perhaps to others, the sharing of knowledge. You'll notice right here, you can also put categories to sort your wiki page into if you belong somewhere, someplace. Up here, you'll see it says my name, Torley Linden, and the hover text that says my user page. Appropriately enough, when you're logged in, it'll show your name here, and you can go ahead and click to view your user page. Now, I'm very watermelon-y, and of course I'm advertising video tutorials like the one you're watching. My wiki page is rather elaborate. It goes into great detail. I've tried to really tersify some of the stuff, because I know a lot of people don't like to do a lot of reading. I've tried to make it brief, but there is a lot to know and a lot I've done. I've created or edited a number of wiki pages, as you can see, because I get thoughts in my head, and instead of repeating them orally multiple times, because that's a sort of useless redundancy, instead, I share them as wiki pages. And of course in the categories, I'm categorized as a Linden Lab employee. Now I'm going to show you how to get started with editing. It's not as hard as it might seem, and one of the best ways to learn is to look at existing pages. First and foremost, if you're not already at your own wiki page, log in. You see there's a link, it'll say log in right here. If I click this, it'll ask me to log in, and I'll show you that very briefly. I log out, and then yes, then log back in. Click that, and there, it's auto-saved my name already, so I can go ahead and, excuse me, log in. I click to log in, and yes, and it shows my name again appropriately. And here on my wiki page, as it reloads, I will be able to click the Edit tab. This shows what it looks like, all the special wiki code. It may look like a real jumble because I've done some fancy things, but let's do a quick exercise, alright? I'm going to push enter just a few times, and plain text can be entered. So if I type plain text can be entered, that will show up as plain text. If you want to have a headline for a section, then you can do that using equal signs in equal sorts of amounts. For example, big heading, and then blah blah text under that, and then with 3 equal signs, that will be a smaller heading. More text. You can easily also check the help and the editing guidelines and discussion. There's a lot of pages right here. Now I can bold stuff for emphasis by putting 3 of these tick marks around it, also known as apostrophes to some. So I want to bold and italicize. Whoop, that's a tricky word. Italicize, and put 2 marks to italicize. 3 for bold, 2 for italics, as you can see. Italics to some. Now that this is done, it's quite a long page, but this is at the top. You can scroll down and you can show a preview of what things will look like. So let's go ahead and click that and wait for it to load, and then it'll show a preview of the text we entered. This may take a while. Please be patient, sometimes the wiki loads slowly. Yes, it's a preview, and I do wish it entered faster. So as it says, plain text can be entered, that's the first thing, remember. And now you notice there's contents. I believe when you have 4 or more main headings, it will automatically come up with a table of contents, which is handy for quick navigation, especially if you have a lot of text on your page. So big heading, yes, blah blah, smaller heading. And I want to bold and italicize as we expected. Now I'm just going to cancel that. I can actually click anywhere else. It will only be saved if you click Save Page, which I'm not doing. Don't worry too much about the summary and the minor edit thing. It helps to provide some context for why you made a change if a lot of people are looking at it. But for your own purposes, often the changes are evident in the content itself. If I was to go to, let's see, what else is of interest to you? The discussion page. You'll also notice that on each page, including your user page, there is a discussion. People can comment without messing up your main page. They can comment and ask questions and that sort of thing. It's open to that, and this has a table of contents as well. Like I was saying, you can edit any page to view the source. You can see how different structures and formatting are done. And I do agree it would be nice to have a WYSIWYG way of doing this, so to speak, an easier rich text formatter, but there is this toolbar atop. Like if you want to bold something and you forget that it's 3 ticky marks, apostrophes on each side, you double click and you click bold, and that will automatically bold it. This one is a special one. It adds your signature with a timestamp, and that's kind of funny. If I press this, it doesn't look like too much. 2 dashes and 4 tildes. And then if I preview it, however, you'll see that it dates, timestamps, and puts my name. So I can attribute a comment to myself if I'm talking that way. Let's return to the front page now that we've had a quick experiment in editing. If you get lost, you can always search. There's all sorts of interesting pages on here you may have never heard about before. Like, for example, did you know about linkability rules? Those are the principles that govern, not likability rules, although that would be great too. Linkability rules govern the distance at which you can link prims, and of course this is changing with Havoc 4 in the present time. Right here, if you search directly for the name of a page, because every page has a unique name, it'll show up, and then you can read more about it. The search isn't too good unto itself. So if you don't remember the exact name of a page, if I type in something more generic, like dog, I don't think there's a exact page. Yeah, there's no page titled dog, and it's not too helpful that way. You can click this for more help, or, as I like to do from the Google toolbar, or just go to google.com, you can do this. Cite, and then wiki.secondlife.com. And then you can search for your specific query. Let's see if there really is any match for dog, because Wiki's own search will fail it sometimes. I really do wish there was a better search. So let's see. Yes, the word dog is in many pages, including in one of my office hours. If I click this, it will go ahead and it will show one of my office hours transcripts. And by the way, Lindens do keep a list of office hours, which is when we come to meet you in World. Different Lindens have different topics of speciality. I have video tutorials. So if I want to see all the Linden office hours, you can search for office hours directly, or you can click on the category. Since our emphasis is on search right now, let's try office hours. It should come up. And here it is. Office hours is the name of the page. And then we have all these Lindens with office hours at their times. You can see all their times and topics. If you know the exact name of a resident and you want to look up their user page, it's as easy as user, and then their name with an underscore in the middle. Like, for example, Tid Kid. She's been extremely helpful, and she has a wonderful wiki page. And here it is, user Tid Kid. Remember, user, the name, the first Second Life name, or resident name, an underscore, and then the last name. Easy as that. And then you can see she has a table of contents and many of her favorite tips about how to get started in Second Life, how to get the best out of things. It's a wonderful read, so have a look at this. You can always go back to the main page like this, and you can browse through portals. Now, at this point you may be asking, so if this has a bunch of help and info and stuff, what's the main difference between this and our knowledge base and support? Well, the knowledge base contains all Linden approved information. Official stuff like policies, and of course a lot of stuff on how to do things in World and other help and assistance articles. The difference with the wiki is, since it's resident collaboration that's primarily driving it, we can't certify all the information as being accurate or official, but it may still be very helpful. A great example of this would be sculpted prims. The reason is because this building technique in Second Life involves the use of many third-party tools we cannot support, but nevertheless they're out there, and you use them with Second Life, and they may be very, very marvelous. Like if I go here and click on 3D software guide, you'll easily see there's a lot in store. and a lot of details with all these programs which aren't Second Life, which we don't give official blessing to, but if you can find a way to hack and patch it on your own terms, keeping that in mind, you may end up with some very wonderful results. So the wiki is good for sharing those experiences. Like, hey, I found out this program exports Sculpties better than this one. Let's have a look, and the information will build up about it. As you can clearly see, there is a list here, a comparison, and it will be continued to be updated in time by our helpful volunteers. There's even a to-do list. It may seem overwhelming, but just like browsing the web in general, go from page to page and find what interests you. One very special feature I like to point out is you can now, thanks to Rob Linden and Cascadio, our hosts of the wiki, you can put in embed videos. And these can come from YouTube and a number of other popular sites. If I just delete this here, and after the wiki I type in video tutorials, exactly like that, that's my familiar video tutorials page where residents are free to list their own. Again, it's a great resource. See, I just clicked on the contents. It's a great resource for things that aren't officially made by Linden Lab, but they may be very, very helpful, especially with international stuff like Teruki Shan's French videos, and many more, as you can see. This is information at your fingertips. If I scroll back up, let me really scroll back up, you'll see there is a video, and I can play it, and it'll say friendly greetings, right? Back to me, and back to you. Friendly greetings, it's your watermelon guru. Yes, it is me, twice of me. And this can be done very easily. You can embed other sorts of videos from YouTube as well. This is done. Now I click to edit a section. Keep in mind that you can not just edit the whole page, but if you want to go by section, like headings, then there's an edit link next to each one. I'll click this, and let's have a quick look at the code. It's very easy to embed a YouTube video. Now it's called Video Flash, the name of the special extension which we added, so that you can put videos in. And right between this and that, there is this code. This is a unique code at YouTube. Every video has one. If I were to go to youtube.com now, I just opened another tab in my browser, and then I can search for example, Second Life videos. And I want to grab any sort of video. Okay, one of mine's there, might as well. So I can click through to probably autoplay. Voice etiquette, whether yes, it's nice to have etiquette. And if we look right here, either right here in the embed code or right up here, you see, after the equal sign, this is the unique ID. You can take this from any YouTube video, then you can go ahead and copy that, and right back, say I were to replace this code and put it in between. So I'm going to paste that in. There it is. And now if I preview it, I'm not going to commit this change, but I'm certainly going to preview it. And just wait a while again. Thanks for your patience. And see, here he is. Haha, it's the same voice chat etiquette video. Voice etiquette, whether just like that. You can do this with other videos. It's a great way because I believe in the video as a wonderful communications medium. It's very powerful to show Second Life as it is, like I'm doing right now. There's a certain sort of recursion involved. And speaking of recursion, you can search the wiki in Second Life through new search. I'll show you that right next. The Inworld experience is upon us. And here, click search once you're logged in. And then, under the All tab, you can search for any category, which will also include wiki pages it finds. If I were to type in bug triage, then search, it will certainly turn up the bug triage and tell me it's on the wiki. I can also narrow it down and just search for wiki pages. And if I was to again search, it would bring up the same sets of pages, probably, yes. Clicking through any one of these will let you have the convenience of reading the wiki within your Second Life experience without having to log out or switch back to your browser. Again, it may take a little while to load. And I think there is a bug with the scroll bar, meaning that if you use the mouse wheel, it may not scroll, and it's not doing that for me now. We should fix that. But of course, you can scroll down and have a look. Some functions in here don't work. I think that, let me quickly check. Videos may not work in Inworld due to a lack of Flash support. But I will check just in case. Yes, unfortunately, it's not showing up. You could probably try to log in. I actually haven't done this before, but let's find out if that does work. It'll give you a black page. I think there should be a better sort of loading page, an interstitial that's not so scary. Okay. So I won't remember it for now. I'll just go ahead and log in. Oh, and look at that! You can log in to the wiki from within Inworld, and now I could probably go ahead and edit stuff. So there is some interactive functionality. That's nice to know. Caught on tape, right? So, those are some things you need to know and would like to know about the Second Life wiki. Remember, you can always click on our green eye in hand right here, this fancy logo, to browse through the portals. Go to what interests you, and if you have notes you like to take, start your own user page, or if it's more general purpose that doesn't pertain to you, start a new page. Find help right here and navigation, and dive on in. Enjoy it at your own pace. This has been Torley Linden for Linden Lab, showing you the Second Life wiki. And have a lovely day. I'll be back next week with another tip of the week. Keep your suggestions flowing to me, and I shall keep the video tutorials growing.